I was doing what I do, and I thought about some things over my childhood to adulthood. When I was in Charles H. Wacker, as a child, I had this friend named Rico. God bless you, Rico. And in elementary school, they put me and Rico together in this speech class. He had a lisp, and they said I needed to go because of using S and SH words. She, sea, shells by the seashore. They said that I had problems pronouncing the SH words. And I was like, no, I don't. But they were the adults, and they placed me in this thing with Rico. Over the years, I figured they just didn't want him to be in there by himself, right? Rico stayed right behind me. Intelligent dude. Didn't have to study or anything. He would get straight A's. That's anyway. He didn't study or anything, but he got hundreds. Anyway, um, over the years, I started to speculate Rico. I had a partner named Richo too in the military. But as time went on, and as now, I think Rico was one of my watchers. You know, no shade at him. It is what it is. As I grow, there are quite a few people. As I think back over my life, I'm talking about hood people in the street. They would let people know, nah, not him. It made me think further, like, because they had been in and out of prison, you know. And as I grow, I'm like, well, what did they find out? What do they know? What have they always known about me? That's just another thing I was thinking about. Slow down, I hear it. So, some things I'm supposed to say, some things I'm not supposed to say. I get that now. I love and always have a beautiful mind. You know that? A mind, ooh, it's attractive to me. And when I think about, see, God brought it back to my memory. I was speaking on some things that they say, get away from that. Because I came on, I want to speak on certain things with that, but I know I'm not supposed to go deep into that subject, that topic, that area. It's dark. So now, hey, Jasmine, a mind. I don't like bullies. I do not like bullies. And when someone has a beautiful mind and they take advantage of others' minds, I don't like that. When you have the capability, the ability to expand, to help someone learn, and instead you lessen their opportunities, you weaken their mind and say it's them alone, Instead of enhancing their gifts, you diminish them. You block them. The mind is beautiful. I get it can be dangerous depending on how you use it, correct? Yeah. No. So I don't, and they say, who am I, right? Who cares what he thinks? I know, right? I don't like people taking advantage of other people's minds. I grew up thinking I was not that bright or intelligent, that smart. That's how I grew up from a child until high school. Once I was threatened by being taken off the basketball team, I stepped it up, started learning myself certain things, but I still didn't think I was, enough. Then I went overseas and God allowed me to learn bisschen Deutsch sprechen, okay? Learn how to speak and verstand and understand German somewhat. And I was physically alone, but spiritually, God and that team, them angels was with me. When I was able to understand and listen and hear people speaking another language and understand that, I said, whoa, I've never been dumb. I never pushed myself enough to learn. I don't blame it on anybody else. Because, hey, they thought what you see is what you get. And what they saw was someone that was slow to learn, slow to catch on. I was shy. I was afraid to make mistakes. I didn't want to be laughed at. But in order to make an omelet, you got to crack some eggs. You got to make some mistakes. But certain things I was not afraid of making mistakes on. No, sir. When I really wanted it, I went after it. I didn't care what anybody thought. And to me, that's the approach you must have in all of life. Okay? When you want to learn something, understand you might fail. You might make mistakes. But as in one of them songs say, in every loss, there's a lesson. Lecrae, one of the gospel rappers, I believe I said mostly what I was led to say it. I'm praying it's not what I wanted to say only, but I was led by the Most High God to help others understand that in this life we must grab onto it and use it properly in good ways. Don't get in someone's path, someone's way, and detour or detain them from their purpose. If they are struggling with finding out their purpose, help them find their purpose. Be real with them. Let them know who they are if they are struggling to find out whom they are. Now, yes, life is the best lesson you can get. You can learn out of life without somebody showing you and pointing you. I'm not saying hold their hand, baby them, and coddle them. What I'm saying is continue to give them little nudges. Hey, you greater than that. Hey, you can do that. And if they're struggling, show them. Now, if they fighting you tooth to nail and don't want to learn, that's different. Now you gotta let them learn on their own. But if you see they have a thirst for knowledge and they want to learn, teach them. Learn them. Okay? God bless. That's the okay. That's the TikTok video in 10 minutes. Um, it's YouTube here. I don't know if it's going to say there's a disturbance or a sound that is not allowed. That's what I've been getting lately when I speak. They tell me that there's a sound that's not allowed. And I do play music sometimes, and I don't understand why when I play music on all my stuff, it tell me I can't play my music, I can't dance. I'm not making money off of any of my videos, y'all. I'm not promoting anything but God and love, peace, unity. But YouTube and Facebook be blocking me. It's okay because, like I say all the time, what God has for me and for you all, you will get. What I understand further now is that there are conditions with this. You must be in alignment, you must be in the true will of God. You got to be wanting to forsake this life. Lose that life that you wanted for the life you need. Oh man. You know, you may think that you losing some stuff, missing out on some things. You're not. We battle against this flesh and things that we can't see, principalities, those things we can't see. Your flesh is going to tell you, hey, I want to eat this, I want to eat that, I want that. It's going to tell you want that woman, or that man, and that. You have to be in control of self. Live for God. Say it in the good book. Live for God, and God will add all these things to you if it's for you. I'm going to cut it off right there. God is so good to me, y'all. Oh, y'all see my I voted, you know, I didn't take much stock into voting. I didn't. I did not. But as you get older, I pray that we start younger to be serious about whom we elect to sit in these seats that God has ordained to have charge. We wanted rulers, we wanted people in office, right? So God allowed us to have that. I mean, like, why would you want somebody to control over you? So we voted and we said, we want somebody to rule us. You get that? So if this is what God gave us, right? That means that we must, all of us must learn the people that we are putting in these seats. Because what if they're not God-fearing people? What if they are playing strictly for the dark side? Huh? What if they're smiling in your face all the time, want to take your place, those backstabbers, not wanting to see you elevate, but keep you emasculated? Or is it demasculated? One of the two. You look it up. Okay? The one I mean is the one that doesn't let you grow, that keeps you stagnant. That's the one I'm talking about right now. Those that are in office that don't want you to be great. They are intimidated by who you are or who you can be. Okay? They're intimidated about your growth, and you don't even want their seat. We all got our lane. Okay. Now, one of the reasons I got, and this is a major reason that I got more into voting, yeah, because of this, because of that. But this has been happening to me over the years. I'm just now awakening to some things where it's like, wow, why have officials been beating me all my life? Once I got old enough to vote, I started being persecuted and beaten by certain officials. Why? What is it that was put out on me? What spirit realized who I am and put a hit out on me? Because as you get older and you realize this is a spiritual war, oh, they researching. They know who you are. And before you awaken and find out who you are, they try to put you in jail, prison, mental home, or in the grave. So it's very important to teach the youth right now who and whom they belong to. Let them decide which walk they want to walk. Let's tend to the garden. Okay? Let's tend to these sheep, to the flock. Raise a child up the right way. If they go astray, they will find their way back to it. Uh-huh. They will. As they get older, it's their choice now. And this is why it's important to not instill or install fear or shame or doubt or confusion. We don't want that in our children. Now, if you lead with fear, if you teach your children the street way instead of Elohim, Yahweh, God way, God of love, so many different names. But if it's not love, then it's not the right way. Anybody can be fierce, rageful, angry, but there's always someone out there with more rage and anger than you, especially that boo-boo they call the devil. How you gonna beat the devil? With anger? Huh? How are you going to beat the devil by being mad? You're not. How are you going to beat the devil by being jealous or envious? You're not. What you are doing is pouring fuel on the fire. And that's what a devil wants. A devil don't want you smiling even though you know you've been done wrong, talked about. The devil don't want you smiling and happy and you don't have enough right now. Why don't you have enough? It starts with self. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm the brightest or I'm the best at whatever, but I'm learning and I've learned it starts with self and self-love. And we must start young to teach these kids how to love themselves, how to respect themselves. Honor God. Not in that order. Okay? This is a lifelong, forever story that I'm telling right now. From generation to generation, you hear, boy, back in my day, look at this youth now. And as you get older, you'll see, you'll understand, we have to lead correctly. We have to each one teach one. If the kids don't care about the adults, it's going to be a little hard for them adults. The adults don't care about them kids, it's going to be hard for them kids. Not all, but quite a few. It's going to be hard for, because we have not respected each other. This is not the jungle. Or these are not birds that you drop out of a tree and see if they're going to fly. Yes, you teach them and then you put them on out there, let them go. But what if you haven't showed them anything? You can't say, well, it happened to me, or this is how I was raised. No. Teach these kids better than what you were taught. Did you like what you went through because you weren't taught? Your life should have showed you, hey, no, I don't want my child to go through what I went through. So I'm going to tell my child everything that I went through, right? So that they won't have to go through that. Now, here's the thing, children. I make my videos, and this one is not for children, so the adults have to tell their children this. You got to forgive your parents because they're only teaching you from a level what they understood, right? And here's a hard pill to swallow. Those that are in power may have control over your parents. And they want to tell you, and they're trying to tell you in their special way. But they can't outright tell you that, hey, somebody got something on me and I can't tell you this, that, and the third. They can't tell you certain things because they may have, done some things that they're not proud of, and someone is using it over them so that they can get you now. They already got your parents, so now they need you so that they can have control over you. You see, and as your parents get older, they may be dependent on you to come through. Because if you come through, it breaks that chain. It breaks that generational curse. But you have to be in alignment. You have to realize I can't use the same technique as my parents used because look at their level. Not to diminish it or anything, but if you see your parents are not getting you to that next level, it may not be because they don't want you to, because your parent might say, if you ever get it together, you'll go from 0 to 1,000,000 real quick. They'll say key words to you. They'll do certain things to give you keys, but you have to be in a space of love and forgiveness in order to use these keys. And this brings me back to my point in the beginning. I don't like bullies. I don't like men or women that use their mind, which is supposed to be intelligence, to ruin other men and women and children. Because You want to stay on top of a ladder. You want to continue to abuse the system and keep those out of office, those out of seats, those out of homes where they belong, and bring family back together. So I'm going to end it here. Children, adults, lead from a space. I know in the beginning, you can say, you just don't see, you don't know what I've been through. I know a little bit, okay? And you need self-awareness, self-discipline, emotional intelligence, and you gotta have love. Think about this. If you believe in the Most High God, right? If you believe that God created us all, right? I want you to think about your life. I want you to think about ignoring and not doing anything for the creator of your life, like they not even there. Like you don't even talk to the one that created you, but you talk to this person, that person, that person. And then I want you to think about some of the things you may have done in life that you pray for your creator to forgive you on. And you hoping that your creator forgive you, right? I want you to think about these things and say, well, God forgave me for all this here? Huh? Do you deserve that? Yes, you do. You're God's creation. God knew already what you were going to do. Okay? And if we give more attention to God, then God will restore the home. Once we, if my people who are called my people repent and turn from their wicked ways, then will I heal the land. That's in scripture. And I do believe that. And that's why one of the major reasons I voted for Mr. Devin Holder, one of the prosecuting attorneys. Yeah, I'm holding that down. I'm letting you know who I voted for. People say, don't tell you that. No, I want you to know who I voted for. All right? Because with cyber theft and cybersecurity, someone can go in there and change something, far as I know. So I'm putting it on public record. Anyone that come to my door, he didn't know I lived here, but he came and knocked on his door for a vote. And he spoke to me. He saw me. He held a conversation with me. Nobody has spoken with me in a while. And what I read on him, and if he is doing these things for the community, I'm with that. Okay? I want the community to be better, not bitter. I don't want people to be locked up, but sometimes that's where you find yourself. And then sometimes that's where you lose yourself. And that's why I'm saying it's important for us as adults to reach these children now and put the right people in office, in the right seats, so that we won't lose our kids anymore to the streets. You see, why are so many children lost in the system, lost in the streets? Because it's being allowed. It's a revolving door. You see, when something don't want to get healed, it happens over and over again. Nothing is done about it. You put a Band-Aid on it, and it's not solved. Now, You gotta stand for something or you fall for anything. And you got to take a chance in life. And I decided to take a chance on Mr. Devin Holder. God bless. Have a great night. Have a great life. Okay. All right. Have all right. Have a great night, y'all.